How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are looking at another video suggested to me by, this video is by Tara. I believe she's writing her Arabian named Farouk, if I pronounced that correctly. In this video, she says, I am scared. This is one of the most frightening experiences of my life. I hang on to his mane. So that sounds pretty scary. I guess we're going to see what happens. I'm just going to give my point of view, my critique and, I don't know, review of it, you know, just my reaction to it. Using all footage here under Fair Use Act for education, criticism, giving, again, my point of view, trying to point out things that maybe I might have done differently, or, you know, try to see things ahead of time like the horse would see, because horses, you know, being prey animals, are very good about, you know, keeping an eye out for things and staying alive. So without humans on their back and you know, forcing and controlling them, whether you have a bit in their mouth or not, or even just entirely even on a halter, we can still put them in danger if we don't listen to what our horse is telling us. So nothing personal against Tara. There's no hate. If you want to support her, you know, by all means, please do. I am not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to try and stop you by any means. So go ahead and support her all you want to. If you want to support my channel, that is always very much appreciated. So we're going to go ahead and get started here, and we'll see what happens here. So she's walking in the grass.
So here we are, blissfully walking along. And
I don't know if that is concrete or dirt. If it is concrete, I appreciate that she is walking in the grass because it's easier on her horse's feet and joints. Looks pretty cold and muggy out there. You know, rain. Also, if this is concrete, with this water here, it can make it very slippery. So whether the horse has shoes or not, especially if they have shoes, I'm not personally a fan of putting shoes on horses, especially walking on really hard concrete. I mean, I get like carriage horses, that's one thing, but that can make it all the more slippery. Also, running in wet grass can make it slippery, so just be careful.
I'm completely unaware that I'm about to have one of the biggest scares of my life.
He's got some cute little ears too. So it looks like, I can't really tell about her brains, but I'm going to assume, so it is concrete, it sounds like. She's running on the grass. So I guess, I mean, as wet, I guess I kind of take it back. I don't know. What I'm debating on is if it's better to be running in the grass. It's better to be running in the grass than on the hard concrete, but it is muddy. So I guess for me, I wouldn't be running my horse in wet, muddy grass, or on concrete either. I'm not, you know, I don't go riding anyway. I don't have a horse to ride, but whenever I do, I'm just like slow poke and, you know, just go for a little trail ride and enjoy. I'm not one of these endurance riders or anything like that. I have no idea if she's in an endurance ride or not, but I guess we'll see.
Good boy. Now keep to the side. Good boy.
So she's keeping to the side. I'm sure she has tight reins. No idea what's going on there.
This doesn't look very much on the camera, but let me tell you, that was a spook, and then sort of a jump, and I lose both stirrups.
That didn't seem like a spook to me. What would he have spooked at? Are you sure he didn't just trip because you're running him on wet grass? I mean, again, you probably would be better off, you know, on the concrete because it's less slippery, but if his feet are already wet from the grass and whatnot, like, I think it's just not, you know, a good thing really anyway to go running a horse and taking away their ability to control their balance and whatnot, you know, because you have the tight reins, as we can see, and the horse might have just tripped on the grass, but they can't fix themselves because, again, you keep control of their head. They use their head as a counterbalance, a counterweight. So apparently she lost both of her stirrups. That could be pretty scary. I mean, at least she's not in like a full sprint. You know, it looked like she was, I guess, I don't know, at a canter, you know, some kind of fast pace, but not, you know, breakneck speeds. But this is, you know, all the more reason to be careful.
And managed to stay on, but I can't stop him, and he heads onto the concrete.
So why can't you stop him? Is it because we always have a tight bit? Is it because maybe he did spook? Even if he is spooky, that's something to be aware of. Maybe we should stop running our horse if we have a horse that, quote unquote, is spooky. Maybe he's just spirited. Maybe he's just tired of having a tight rein on him, and he's tired of being either forced to run or held back, and he wants to run and be free. You know, if he chooses to go on the concrete on his own when you're not holding on to his mouth, then maybe that's the better choice, because I trust my horse in this situation that, you know, yeah, as much as it can be painful on their joints, it's probably more stable here. It's flat. There's no divots as far as we can tell, and it's not slippery like it is in the grass.
Whoa. No stirrups. Whoa.
Well, he's not listening to your verbal cue.
Calm.
Whoa.
So here he's in an open enough space where if she were to, you know, do a one rein stop like she does with Bella, you know, she can take her rein and slowly start leaning him in this direction, make a big circle. We're not panicking, we're slowing, we're holding on with our legs, you know, good leg and balance practice. And if you do happen to fall off, which is not the goal, obviously, at least you'd fall in some grass versus down here or here. I mean, that's a good way to practice. You know, you would slowly bring your rein in, make the circle smaller and smaller, slowing down the horse. So instead of repeating the cue or holding onto a horse that's just like, you know, gotten loose and is just like, you know, blind running and ignoring all those cues, you can make a one rein stop like she did Bella in one of her earlier videos. I don't know, that would just be my tip if I was on a runaway horse with no stirrups.
Whoa.
And he's not listening at all. So instead of repeating and using my voice and teaching the horse to ignore my voice, I'm going to take control, you know, take the horse's head away, not violently, not aggressively, and not very quickly, because you don't want to just take them and run them from here onto wet grass, because you can slip and fall and the horse can fall on you and, you know, people can get hurt. So that's why that was kind of the perfect area, I think. I mean, but what do I know? Where it seemed like a better area, I won't say the perfect area, to be able to turn into a big field. But of course, being aware that your horse can slip, so we still want them to be able to balance themselves. He almost ran into that sign. And so now she's all over the place. Horse is not. He's completely ignoring her.
And rot.
Not listening at all. Like, where are the reins? Do you not have, like, can you not use the reins if you don't have your stirrups? I'm not, you know, I'm asking her as an individual. I'm not asking if that's, you know, of course you can use the reins without having to rely on stirrups.
Both stirrups are hitting him on the side and he's not used to that.
Walk.
So if he didn't listen to whoa or trot, why are you telling him to walk? He's not going to stop. And he's not used to the stirrups hitting them. Well, that seems like something that we should start working on.
Spooks at the time, whether it's the black lines or something at the side.
Walk.
I don't think he's spooked. Sorry, I had to make a cut there with the editing software, but I don't think he's spooked to anything. I mean, it didn't look like he did. It just looked like maybe he's tired of you hanging on, or who knows what. I mean, maybe he didn't want you to be running him here. He probably lost his footing, slipped a little bit, maybe it made him a little bit nervous, and he says, hey, now I can run over here and I don't have somebody on my head. See, he's not going flying everywhere else. When you listen to your horse, they usually make the better decision. So she's just hanging on, she's repeating words. I wouldn't be repeating again. I would be working on trying to get as slow of a, you know, circle, one rein stop as I possibly can. You know, making sure that you're aware that when you're turning, your horse is going to be turning. You have to balance your weight accordingly and just slowly make a little circle and then work at it. You know, if your horse is afraid of stirrups hitting him on the sides, practice that, not aggressively, but just tapping. They can, you know, you can walk and let them swing, maybe go to a little trot and let them, you know, tap them on the sides little in a controlled environment, in a round pen, or, you know, when you're walking them, and then at a lunge, and, you know, not for hours and hours or circles and circles and circles. Just slowly desensitize them so that they don't see that as a cue to go, you know, unless you pair it with something else, like usually like a cue, a verbal cue or a leg cue.
Walk.
So he's doing little swerves and that, and little stop starts. You can't really see it on the camera, but I nearly fell off then.
So So you have, again, your runaway horse, which it's not the horse's fault. He's just doing what she has taught him. He is a reflection of her. He's a reflection of her training, of her teaching, of her riding. So she lost the reins. Apparently she was sitting there holding on. I mean, at least she's not hanging on to his mouth. But now she pulls the reins, pulls him. He's so used to it always being tight that he's still not stopping. We don't know why he won't. I mean, I don't think it's that he's just a spooky horse. I mean, if he is, okay, it can happen. He's a horse. But again, why don't we learn how to train and work with our horse without relying on? That's what, that's the problem with having a bit, where people say, oh, he's not listening when I just use a snaffle. I have to use a bigger bit. I have to use more leverage. I have to use a tie down because he doesn't listen with just this. I need to use spurs or a whip or all this nonsense. I have to take his head away and keep it in a certain place, and that's what makes your horse so irritated. And then finally, when they're free, they're like, hey, let's go. I'm so used to just running. I'm not going to stop.
Walk.
And now she's getting more frustrated. See, now would be a bad place to do the little one-turn stop because I think it looks like there's a ditch right there. But then just ride it out. He's not going to go anywhere.
I'm trying to get my right foot in the stirrup, but it's moving about so much, and every time I lift my leg a little bit to try and get it, Farouk just sets off faster.
Well, probably because he feels like he's falling off balance, or that is in some way a cue that you may or may not have inadvertently taught him. I mean, I would think that if he gets off faster or starts running off faster because he feels like he's off balance. So now he sees horses, so of course he's going to want to go to the horses. He may pass them, he may not. But I'm going to assume he's going to slow down when he sees these horses.
Walk.
Here. And she still keeps talking to him.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know if she got the rein or not. I'm sure she will tell us, but this field was here. She could have easily just taken her rein, and just slowly made big circles and slowly made them smaller and smaller. And I'm sure he would have stopped pretty quickly. I mean, nobody's perfect, but I'm just saying that, like, for as accomplished of a rider apparently as she is, what's so hard about just, like, when it's safe, of course. I'm not saying immediately do it. Wait for a safe time, work on your balance, work on your legs while you're there without your stirrups, and slowly make your little circle and then say, okay, what happened there? Let's see if we can, control the environment as much as we can and reevaluate what happened so we can practice and desensitize Farouk to that.
I lost both stirrups. That's a shy. Oh, couldn't.
Cute little horses.
I just couldn't.
So tight bits, very cute little horses. This one definitely looks shaved, but I mean, I don't know, I can't tell. They got the little boots on. Love this little horse. Very tight bit, though.
I couldn't get my feet in at the speed we were going. Thanks.
So I'm glad that she's safe. I mean, of course, even with all the, the critiques that people give her, of course I don't want anything to happen to anyone. Nobody wants her to get hurt. I certainly don't ever wish for anyone to get hurt.
It's made my legs tremble.
Yeah, she says he doesn't seem bothered at all. So he doesn't seem like he's spooky. He was just running because she apparently always runs him. So she got loose. He just says, hey, you're falling off. Just hang on. And I'm just going to keep running. Maybe she was making him a little bit more nervous, but he doesn't seem like he's really, panting really hard or breathing really hard. He saw the horses. He's chilling with them. He's perfectly happy.
He just spooked.
So
I lost
she
one
says
and then
he
the other.
spooked. I didn't see a spook. I mean, immediately, again, back to the tight reins. I don't see why he wouldn't be, running and ignoring her and all this and that. But, I mean, that's just me. It's so easy to say, oh, yeah, blame the horse. Oh, the horse spooked. Oh, this and that. It wasn't my fault that I possibly could have done something, or I put him over in the grass where it was slippery and he lost his footing, or I'm constantly running him here or there, or maybe his joints hurt, or I don't know.
And so, because of no leverage.
Because of no leverage. So again, tight reins. No wonder this guy just took off and he's like, hey, I'm free. I mean, this guy takes off all the time.
Great. Thanks so much. God, I thought I was going to come off.
cute little horse. Again, really tight bit. If anybody knows, like, this looks like, is it a cob maybe? I don't know. I love these thick-necked horses. It looks like it's, not terribly tall or giant. But I love, stocky, draft-type horses. Super cute.
Really well. Lucky not. That's why I got an exploding jacket, just in case I...
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, lovely. Okay, so just in case their horse gets loose, they have the, they said exploding jacket, but I assume it's like what motorcyclists use is like not a flotation device, but like an airbag. So what if that were to go off? I mean, I know they have safety plans so that it doesn't go off, but like if you plan to fall so hard that you need an airbag, I mean, I don't know. I probably just wouldn't be putting myself in that position. But I mean, they can do whatever they want.
With me.
Tight bits everywhere. Horses. This one's trying to get away from the tightness of the rein. They're shaking.
Yeah, you only get once. And then you pay 15 quid to replace anything down like that.
Yeah.
Chewing
Anyway,
on the
thanks
bit.
for stopping like that to help me.
You want to go ahead? Or...
I'll go ahead if that's all right. Thank you.
So that was very nice that they were there too. I mean, I don't think they necessarily did anything. I don't know that they could have helped if he would just run away. I think it was just, he's a horse. He saw other horses. They were nice and slow. He said, hey, I feel comfort with other horses.
You. Walk on.
I know. I've
Already just immediately tugging on the I almost said leash, the reins. Just, I might go back and walk through that area. Not just continue on, because I want to desensitize. I might walk back and forth here a couple of times, just a nice walk and maybe go into a trot for a little bit and go back to walk and be able to control him in an area where he may have associated a spook of some sort, or at the very least he would have associated not listening to me, not as a punishment, but just as a way to really desensitize and make sure we end on a good note, or as good of a note as possible.
Trying to get the foot in the stirrup because it's just not doing any good, and I've nearly come off twice already. And then of course I see the corner and I'm trying to get him into the grass, but we've got all these puddles and he's just jumping about all over the place because
she's gonna say he's spooky, but maybe if you would just let go of his face, he knows exactly where to go. Because you're pulling on him with one hand, you're falling off. That might be why he's spooking and freaking out. I mean, if you had just let him... when he didn't have you on the reins, he was doing just fine.
Spooking. And I'm trying to get him into the grass because I didn't want him to go around that corner at this speed on the concrete because he could just slip. And so I just hang on to his mane best I can. And then he sees the horses up front, which seems to steady his mind, because already just turning the corner now on this grass, I feel that he's come back to me mentally.
I don't think he's necessarily come back to you mentally. I think he was just focused on the horses, and he says, I'm not going to run past these horses. I'm stressed. If someone's fallen off my back, I'm running, whatever. It caused him to act in the way he did. He's just being natural. He's being a horse, and so he sees these horses, and he says, hey, guys, how's it going? That's just what I see. So I don't know if the rest of it is just her running or not, but
it can be quite dramatic.
So she says it's dramatic, he's shy, he's spooky. He seemed perfectly fine that whole time he was running, until she started getting in the way. She got in her own way, and in his, literally and figuratively. And that's what made him start to jump and whatnot. And he only ever reacts when she's directly interacting with him or interfering with him. So it looks like they're just going to be walking the rest of the time. This was just a quick one. Hope you all enjoyed. That's what I see. I am glad that everybody's okay. I'm glad nobody got hurt. I am certainly glad that she did not get hurt and fall on the concrete. Of course, I'm so glad that Mr. Farouk did not get hurt. He has such cute little ears, cute little horses everywhere. Go say hi to your little critters. Give them some kind of loving from me. Give them a kiss. Say howdy do. Until next time, practice some positivity.